Hi everyone, I'm Jeanette with Vivo Vintage Designs. Welcome to today's video. Before we get started, let me remind you that all the products used will be listed in the description box along with the links just below the video. So take a look if you have any questions about anything you see me using. Also, you can always leave a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your interaction with my channel really helps me and is greatly appreciated. So, now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to show you how I created this flower. And I'll tell you what you need, the colors that I used. I have some photo paper, but the photo paper I have comes on, well, this humongous roll. I have about 5 of them, and this is the smallest one. A friend of mine buys damaged rolls from companies and then ships them to other countries. So I'm fortunate enough that he is very generous and shares them with me. So I'm using what I have, but normally I would prefer Kirkland photo paper, but because it comes on a roll I have to tape it down, otherwise it curls up. The colors that I'm using are Snowcap for the center, Pitch Black, Sailboat Blue, and then I have my Dr. Martin's acrylic ink in True Blue and Violet. I've got some alcohol, and I have some water in a cup, but of course you don't have to use one of these little things for the water. You can put it in a one of these little bottles. Well, there you go. One of these little bottles or whatever you have. And I also have 2 POSCA pens. This one is a large one. And unfortunately I cannot see. Where are my glasses? Okay, this one is, you know what, I can't see it. I think it's a large tip, as you can see. And then I have a smaller one. This one is a 0.7 millimeter, and I'm going to use those to color in the background. I'm also using my Revlon dryer and my airbrush. The PSI is set at 40. Okay, so let's get started with this. The first thing that I did was I put down my Sailboat Blue and I blew that out. I didn't use a lot, so I'm going to put down a little bit in the center and dry it. Oh, did I tell you? I'm also using one of these dotting tools to apply the acrylic ink. Alright, so we've got our Sailboat Blue down. Now I'm just going to blow it out. And I'm going to use a decent amount of alcohol. And I'm just going back and forth over the puddle of ink and alcohol. And creating these pretty little folds in the petals. Just make sure that it's completely dry before you move on. So this is pretty simple. I don't care too much if it's perfect or not, because I'm going to be blowing more ink over it with the acrylic and the pitch black. I just want a base. So make sure it's completely dry. And now we're going to put down some pitch black. I'm going to make sure, just want to make sure I'm still in the frame. Now we're going to put down some pitch black in the center. And you're not using a lot. You're going to dry that also. This time, because I want to keep my center dark, I'm going to apply my alcohol kind of on the edge of the black. And then I'll let it sit for a moment and blow it out. And I'm using that back and forth motion again. Pretty simple. Making sure that it's completely dry before I move on to the next one. And as always, my tape is lifting. One more little drop here, and I think we're good. Okay, so now I'm going to take my blow dryer and make sure that this is completely dry. And now I'm going to put down a drop of my first color. I'm just using a piece of photo paper from another painting. I'm so bad. This was really pretty too. But anyway, I'm going to put down a drop of the violet on the paper. And I'm going to use the dotting tool. And I'm just going to put a line of it around the center of the flower. And then I'm going to put down just one little drop of water. And do the same thing I did to create the petals. I'm just going to move it, the airbrush, up and down. And that sends all those little leggy things flying across the paper. So I'm going to do that again, just putting down a line. One drop of water. And now the reason I use the water is because it dilutes the color and it creates more of those little leggy things. If I use it straight, it's a more intense color and it doesn't have the same movement. It doesn't move around as freely. So again, I'm just moving the airbrush up and down and letting those little leggy things do their thing. And I'm going to go all around the center of the flower, a little bit at a time. I'm going to have to pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I have one of those robot vacuum cleaners and I forget every day. and it goes off and goes and spills my dog's water all over the place. So I had to run upstairs and clean it up because of course I was too late. The damage was done. All right, so let's continue with this purple. All right, how about I finish this with this purple and then I'll come back so you don't have to watch me blow these little leggy things all over the place. Okay, I'm done blowing the blue ones, the purple ones. So now I'm going to put a drop of the blue, and this is called True Blue. I'm going to put a drop of that on my paper, and I'm just going to, just so that you can see, I'm just taking this dotting tool, dipping it in there, and I'm dotting a few little drops on my photo paper, adding just one drop of water and doing the same thing. There's no right or wrong way to do this. There really isn't with this ink. Just have fun with it. Yesterday when I was doing this flower, I thought, oh my God, what a mess I'm making. And I was not happy with it. And then the idea came to me to find petals and outline them and make the background black. And that really made the flower stand out. And as far as I'm concerned, it saved it because I thought it was just going to be garbage. But in the end, it really turned out pretty. All right, I'm almost close to the end of the acrylic ink here. Going to do one more little area here. And now I'm going to take my dryer and make sure this is completely dry. And I'm just wiping the extra moisture off the tape because I don't want it to come back onto the paper. Okay. Now I'm taking the POSCA pen, the one that's 0.7 millimeters, and I'm going to look at this flower and see where I see petals, and I'm going to outline them. Like this. And it just use your imagination to outline the petals wherever your eye may see them. Okay, so those are my petals. Now I'm going to use this marker first to start filling in the black, because there's some very narrow areas and I don't want to go over the line now that I've defined my petals. So in those narrow areas I'm going to start filling it in with the smaller nib POSCA pen. And then I'll use the one with the thicker tip to fill in the rest. And you don't have to use a POSCA pen. You can use acrylic paint. You can use whatever you want to fill it in. I just happen to have the POSCA pens and I think they do a great job. Okay, let me finish filling in these little narrow areas. And your petals don't have to be perfect. Nothing about this has to be perfect. In fact, I kind of like the fact that the petals are, some are larger, some are smaller. There's a lot of dark area, and I think that really makes it stand out more. So I'm just going to go around and fill in the other areas, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, I'm filling in the last area now. So you can see how making the background black really makes the petals pop and all that detail. It makes it look dimensional. It's a really nice effect. Oh no, I think I'm running out of ink in this pen. And then we have just a couple more things to do and we'll be finished with this beautiful flower. And of course you don't have to use the same colors I did. You can use whatever colors you prefer. And if you try to do this flower, I would love to see your results. So please, if you post them on Facebook, be sure to tag me in them. I'd love to see how you do. Okay, so that's finished. And now I want to define these lines a little bit more, so I'm just going to go over them and make them a little bit thicker now that the background is finished. Especially where there's one leaf over the, or rather one petal over the other, I want to make those a bit darker. Or rather a bit thicker. Okay, and then what I did in this flower, which it's hard to see, let me bring it up to you. I created little black lines from the center out, and that's easily done. I used the same marker and I just to give it a little bit more movement. You don't have to do a lot. Just make sure that you keep them going in the direction that the petal is going. Don't just do them straight up and down. If your petal is going that way, kind of angle them that way. And you don't even have to do them all. Okay, so I think I want this, yeah, I think I want it like this. Now we're going to get ready to do the center. So I've got my little shot glass here, and I'm going to use my snow cap. And if you wanted to, you could add more detail with the Posca pens in the petals, but I really think that with all the purple and blue going through there, that it has enough detail, and so I didn't add any more. Now I don't want this too watery, so I do this every now and then. I use my blow dryer to dry the ink a little bit. And I'll take my micron pen and start creating my center. So like I tell you all the time, I start in the area that I want my light source to be coming from, and I start dotting in that area and work my way down. And as I need to reload my brush, that's when I start moving down so that the dots are lighter. And smaller. Okay, I'm going to dry this. And then do my second layer. Dry it again. And this may be my final layer, I'm not sure yet. Yep, I think that's finished. All right. So there you go. That is how that flower was created. Let me bring you a little bit closer so you can see some of the detail. It's actually pretty simple but very dramatic. So I hope you give this a try. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll always get back to you. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.